Calendars can be a complex topic, and because of that, we're going to be creating multiple videos to explain primary calendars. But before jumping into how to configure the system, I want you to understand the difference between a calendar state and a Karnaugh template. Here, we have 7 a.m. in the morning of a Monday, so May 9, until for 5 days, right? So until 7 a.m. in the morning of a Saturday, May 14 in this case, we have one calendar state that lasts for 5 days, which is on shift, right? Starting then at 7 a.m. in the morning on the Saturday and until the next Monday, 7 a.m., we have another calendar state which is off shift. So in this case, and then it repeats, right? So 5 days on shift, 2 days off shift. 5 days on shift, 2 days off shift. So this here, this 7-day period, it is a calendar template that repeats one after the other. And this calendar template contains two periods, one with a duration of 5 days using the calendar state on shift, and another one that lasts for 2 days using the calendar states off shift. Okay, so remember that off shifts you are not able, so basically in this period we have 0% efficiency, so my machine will not be able to process anything. So as soon as I'm drag and dropping this operation and my end time enters this off shift period, you see that it's waiting availability of the resource in order to finish it. And in here, if I try to drag and drop, so my operation begins in an off shift, it's not going to allow you to do so. So if I drag and drop in here, for example, it's just going to say, okay, waiting for my next on shift in order to start this operation. Okay, a little bit of visualization. So you see that my operation is on top at this moment. So it looks like it's this operation has a longer duration, but actually the lead time of the operation has increased. The actual duration of the operation, the process time remains the same. If you wanna, you can see that in a different ways. If you come here to view calendars, you have the operations on top, which is the run selected now, but you also can have the calendars on top. In this example, you see that I lose the shadow for this operation, just to tell you that actually my calendars, my off-shift calendars, they are the ones on top. So now you can see that this operation actually is kind of split into two different periods, right? So that's essentially how Opcenter works. Okay, so let me come back to operations on top. Okay, let's take a look now to the calendar states. If you wanna create new calendar states or add it, you can come to View, Calendar, and Calendar States, or Ctrl-Shift-S. This will open a new table where you can see all available calendar states. So you see that I have breakdown, net change, off shift, on shift, overtime, planned and maintenance, short break, vacation, and holiday. And for each one of those states, you have a standard efficiency, right? For on shift and overtime are the only ones with 100% efficiency as standard. And also you have the coloring and the hatch style. You have a cost factor. If you are using cost calculation, for example, if the operation is running in overtime, then you have 2%, 200% of a cost factor. And then you have a flag to tells you if you allow setup time or if you do not allow setup time in this in the beginning of a setup time, right? So in this period here, so you see that short break, vacation and holiday, net change, and overtime, you're not able to begin a setup time, okay? All right, so visually here, for example, the on shift is transparent, right? So I would recommend just using this. But the off shift has this visualization option, but you can change that. For example, brown uh, and just an horizontal line. In order to apply it, you need to save it, okay? So after saving, you see that the little star here goes away. Coming back here now, you see that the visualization of my calendar state has updated. Okay, so let's come back to solid view. I don't remember, it was maybe this. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so you see that you're not telling at what time this calendar states begins and what time it ends. You're just telling the system that those are my possible calendar states. Okay, and of course, if you double click here, you have a specific form which can be a little bit more friendly to update the information here. And if you want to delete, you can select and press the deletion key. For example, net change, I never use it, so I delete it. And now it's asking me to save this. So you can just save it. And this little star goes away. Okay, so this is calendar state, right? Now, let's take a look at the calendar template. If you come to view, calendar, you have the primary calendar templates here. If you click on it, you're gonna have a new screen, a new list with all available primary templates. In this case, I only have 5 days 100% and 5 days 80%. So let's double click the 5 days 100%. You see that I have a new screen. We can close the calendar states now. Let me unpin this. And you have header information. So for example, the name, of course, the length, this is extremely important. The color, this color here is essentially this below color in here. So if you change this to red, you see that you need to save it. Coming back, you see that this changes, okay? So let me come back. Let me with transparent because I don't need this. Yeah. Okay. Another very important concept is the reference date. What is important in the reference date, it is the weekday, because this is a calendar template with 7 days. Most of the time, I would say 95% of the time, we're going to be creating calendar templates for 7 days because every week your calendar repeats, right? So the reference date tells the system exactly this first moment here, the 0 second, the 0 millisecond. What is this date and time, this weekday and time? So if you click here, you see that I have selected a Monday. So actually it doesn't matter which Monday I select. What matters is that this is a Monday, okay? And also at what time it is. So you see that it's 7 a.m. Because it's a Monday 7 a.m., I am sure that this is, you see, a Monday 7 a.m. So let me change this to 8 a.m. and save it. Coming back here now, you see that the template is starting at 8 a.m. That means that the next 5 days, it's going to start from 8 a.m. And if I change this to, for example, Sunday, now this 0 hour, this first moment, it is Sunday 8 a.m. So let me save it. There we go, and come back here. You see that this is Sunday 8 a.m. That means that every Sunday 8 a.m. I'm going to repeat this calendar template. And it's like this because it's a 7-day calendar. My length is 7 days. If it were to be 8 days, then you're going to need to fulfill 8 days here. Okay? So understanding this reference date, it is extremely important, right? So let me come back to a Monday, 7 a.m. Saving it, coming back here, and it's 7 a.m. again on a Monday. All right. So now you see that I have two periods in the table below, right? Those two periods are essentially the on shift, with a length of 5 days, and the second one is starts at the fifth day, and then my length is 2 days. So understanding here all of those columns, you have what is the calendar state. So if you double click here, you can change it, and you're gonna have all of those calendar states available. Second is what is the efficiency here of this particular period, this particular row. In this case is 100%. My start offset is 0. So it means, of course, it's the first row. So this here is starting at this moment here. It lasts for 5 days, and then of course it ends at the 5th day, right? So 0 plus 5, it's 5. Cost factor is 100, but it only matters if you are using cost calculation from Opcenter. The second row, on the other hand, it starts at the 5th day, all right? So you cannot have parallel states. So as soon as this ends, this is starting, and it lasts for 2 days. So 5 plus 2, you have 7. So it ends exactly when my Karnaugh template ends. And that's essentially the basic concept of a calendar state, a calendar template, sorry. But this is what is deployed at the moment. So let's create a new one, right? So to create a new one, you come to File, New, Primary Calendar Template. And you give a name. So let's say it's going to be 5 days. Actually, let's do different. Let's create a 1 day calendar. It's going to be 1 day, 8 hours. So I'm going to be working 8 hours every single day. Okay, so the length here, it's 1 day. My reference date, I want it to be, actually, let's leave at none for this example. So let's say that this calendar, my shift, my factory shift starts at on shift, right? And my on shift lasts for 8 hours, okay? And then for the next 16 hours, I am off shift. So you see that I'm double clicking here the second row, and it automatically picks up the start offset, right? Because it takes into consideration the previous one. So to demonstrate that, if I put 1 hour as a length, I need to select the state. Next time I double click here, you see that my offset is 9 hours, right? So, okay, so let's add it here. One good tip for you is that if you select here, you see that you have some options to drag and drop. So you can pretty much use those, 3 dots here to drag and drop and update the shift. So if you drag and drop the middle one, you are dropping the whole period, the whole, period of this calendar state. If you drag and drop the first one, you can drop to the left. And if you drag and drop the one in the right, you can drop to the right. So that's a pretty neat way to fulfill your calendar template. Okay? All right. So I have not set a reference date because I want to use this calendar template in order to easy my 7-day calendar template creation. Okay? So let's save this, right? So now I have a new calendar template created. Okay, I'm gonna close this. But this is pretty useless because I need to tell to the system how I work during the weekend, for example. So I'm gonna create a new one, File, New, Primary Calendar Template. I'm gonna call it, let's say I'm gonna work like this until Saturday, so 7 day for 8 hours. And this is going to be a 7-day calendar. So I'm gonna work 6 days, 8 hours, and my 7th day, it's going to be off shift. You have two options now. You could either add one by one, so fulfill each day but that can be very, very tedious, right? So one tip for you is that you can now open the primary calendar, primary template list, and you can drag and drop to the calendar template that you are creating. And you see that it automatically fulfill with the information that you provided previously. So in this example here, we are working 6 days in this shift. So you see first day, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth day. And the last day, it's completely off shift. Another tip for you, do not have subsequent calendar states in different periods. So do not come here and add a new calendar template, calendar state off shift and do this. This is just for performance reasons. It's going to work, right? So Opcenter APS will not complain, but there is a performance hit. Not a lot, but it's just a best practice to follow what I'm going to tell you. So you can delete this by right-clicking. So instead of having two, just increase the size of the previous period, okay? So you see that this is a pretty easy way to create a 7-day calendar template. So first you create 1 day, then you can have how many, so for example, if you have stop for lunch, you can have that 1 hour stop there, and then you just drag and drop in order to create a 7-day calendar template. Okay, so the reason I didn't put a reference date in this one is because this one is actually just here in order to help the creation of the actual calendar template that we're going to be using, right? So in this one, we need to tell that, okay, this is starting in a Monday, let's say 8 a.m. in the morning. Okay, we save it, and I'm going to be creating a dedicated video on how to apply calendars. So, but very quickly here, let's say that my Armory One machine, we're going to have that 6 day, 8 hours template. You see the reference date here. You can just use the template reference date. So let's do it. And now, if I come back to the Armory, to the overview, you see that I have exactly that. I start 8 a.m. on a Monday, work for 8 hours, stop for 16, work for 8 hours, stop for 16, and that repeats itself for 6 days. And then for my last day, of course, it's going to be a longer week. I have a Sunday, basically I'm not working, and 8 a.m. in the next Monday, it repeats, right? Okay, so coming back here to the calendar template, I think I have it open, I do not. If you want to change it, as I demonstrated before, you can change it by right-clicking and edit it. But, for example, this one, you are not able to change the length in this one. Only reduce it. You cannot increase, because if you increase, it's going to conflict with the next one. But if you put 7 hours, then it allows you to do. Okay, so keep that in mind as well. So for example, if I double click, put 9 hours, the system will just trigger me an error. Okay, another good information for you is this add period. You can either click from here or you can click on it. That's going to automatically add a new period for you. Of course, in this case it doesn't matter much, but let's do it. Put an off shift here of 8 hours. It adds here, so you can drag and drop, and you're done. And here, the snap periods too. It's for this drag and drop in here. So, for example, if you put every 4 hours, now you see that my snapping happens every 4 hours. If you put every 30 minutes, you see that it's being smooth, the drag and dropping. So this is to prevent, dropping to and missing just 1 minute, for example. Okay. All right. So let's say now, and this is going to be my last tip on this video. Let's say now that you want to create a new calendar, but instead of 100%, you want to put 85%. Okay, let me save it. So in order to do so, you can use that drag and drop functionality. So let's put here 6 days, 8 hours, 85%. My length will be 7 days again. It's going to be on a Monday, 8 a.m. Color will be as is, and you just drag and drop this in here. And now, what you need to do, you need to edit each one of those here and put that they are 85% efficiency. Okay? Of course, you can do that for each one of them. It's not going to take long, right? Overriding here the efficiency. Or in an alternative, you could create a 1 day, 8 hours, 85%, and then you drag and drop all of them here in order to do so. So let's do here the 85% efficiency for all of them. There you go. Okay, so if you apply, let me apply this now, this 85% efficiency in the spiraling, the extrusion 1 machine. Reference date, use the calendar. All right. So the difference, you see that the template is exactly the same, but the difference is actually just, let me schedule those operations here. It is just the efficiency. So let me change this to be a 4-hour batch time. Let me change the extrusion 1 to also be 4-hour batch time. Okay, so you see that both of them have a process time of 4 hours, but because of this, its extrusion 1 has an 85% efficiency. The lead time of this operation is actually 15% longer than the previous one. Okay, so that's how efficiency it is defined. Just one last tip. You see the edit mode. If you click here and select Karnaugh edit mode and you hold your mouse, you see what is, you get more information. So you see what is the Karnaugh template applied and what is the current efficiency of each one of this period in here. In this case 85 and in this case 100. All right, that's it for this video. Thank you.